Oh, God, where do we start? From the woman who gave us these toe-curling gaffes.
How much would 10,000 police officers cost?
Well, if we recruit the 10,000 police men and women over a 4-year period, we believe it'll be about £300,000.
£300,000 for
Sorry,
10,000 police officers? What are you paying them?
Response times to 99 calls are increasing. And that would give us, I think, 170... Sorry.
Diane Abbott. Diane has sunk to the lowest of all lows. In a letter for The Observer, Diana suggested that Jewish people do not face racism, but instead face prejudice similar to redheads. She was apparently responding to writer Tomiwa Owalande's claims that Irish, Jewish and traveller people all suffer from racism. Diane said that racism in Britain is not a black and white issue. It's far more complicated. She went on to write, "They undoubtedly experience prejudice. This is similar to racism, and the two words are often used as if they are interchangeable. It is true that many types of white people with points of difference, such as redheads, can experience this prejudice, but they are not all their lives subject to racism." She added, "In pre-civil rights America, Irish people, Jewish people and travellers were not required to sit at the back of the bus. In apartheid South Africa, these groups were allowed to vote. And at the height of slavery, there were no white-seeming people mandated on slave ships." I have one word for you, Diane. Auschwitz. I've been there. And there weren't any redheads. They weren't after redheads. They were after mainly Jewish people. This is the woman who was Jeremy Corbyn's right hand. You may recall that he was accused of anti-Semitism, and for a long while, Jewish people refused to vote for the Labour Party. Remember Black Lives Matter? Diane Abbott was all over that like a rash. Turns out they weren't all that they were cracked up to be. I knew that, most sensible people knew that. It was in the title, excluding all other races, as though racism towards black people is the worst kind, a sort of my suffering of racism is worse than yours because I'm black, as though there are grades of it, which is nonsense. Racism is racism, and there is not one better or lesser kind. How stupid and ill-judged of her to come out with this guff. Diane has since issued an apology saying that she wholly and unreservedly withdraws the comments. The Labour Party have suspended the whip from her, and their spokesperson said this: "The Labour Party completely condemns these comments, which are deeply offensive and wrong. The Chief Whip has suspended the Labour whip from Diane Abbott pending an investigation." But the worst thing about her comments is that they were considered and that she actually wrote them down. She felt it was OK to say those things. A bit like when Labour's Rupert Huck, who thought it was OK to call Kwasi Kwarteng superficially black. We can't have idiotic people like this holding positions of power. No apology is good enough. She may have said sorry, but that's what she really thinks. She wouldn't be apologising if no one had said anything. Diane Abbott is a complete embarrassment.